When Hurricane Sandy struck in 2012, tens of thousands of New Yorkers found themselves stranded with nowhere to live. Then local Airbnb hosts opened their doors for free, and the idea for the Open Homes program was born. Joining us today to discuss the program is Kelly Benz, the head of Global Disaster Relief and Recovery at Airbnb. Kelly, I can't think of a better example of how necessity is the mother of invention. Was it just one Airbnb owner that started to do this and word spread? Or there's got to be an interesting history behind this new program.
So as you just mentioned, back in 2012, when Hurricane Sandy struck New York, thousands of people were displaced, and one of our hosts reached out to ask how could she open her home for free to those that were displaced. So we created that capability, and since that time, we've created an entire program now called Open Homes, where we've been able to activate our host community in hundreds of disasters all over the world, providing temporary accommodations to those that are in need to over 30,000 people at this time.
Now, as a resident, personally as a resident of an area that, could easily get displaced with a hurricane as well, what is the process if God forbid, we need to do this here in the Tampa, St. Petersburg area? I know with Airbnb, you have to go on and it's a pretty extensive form you fill out, but for good reason. In a situation like if a hurricane comes through an area, is there the same type of registration, or is that streamlined a little bit? Or take us through the process if anyone watching should need to do this at some point.
Sure. So we have tried to reduce friction on the product as much as possible. However, to your point, there is good reason for account creation, just so that we can ensure that we vet and verify all of our hosts and guests. That said, it's very simple to sign up. You go to airbnb.com/disaster response. And if you're wanting to host, you want to click list your space, and it will take you through the account creation. I always encourage people to do that ahead of disaster versus in the middle of it, although it's a lot more adrenaline rush when you're in the middle. But right now is the time to sign up, right? Right now is the time to, while you're doing all your other preparedness efforts, to go ahead and sign up and make this one of many of your preparedness items to do.
If someone is watching right now and say they've got an extra in-law apartment above their garage or something, and they're not Airbnb members, can they still can they just open their homes without going through this, or you suggest obviously going through the formal Airbnb process?
We recommend them becoming Open Homes hosts, just so that they can have the protection just as well as the guest having the protection, and also for people to be able to find you. Certainly anyone can open their home, but this program actually allows you to be listed like every other Airbnb listing, except for we have a specific program and page dedicated to our disaster response program. And when we are activated, when we ask your community to activate, it's a click of a button and people are able to find you very quickly for those that are displaced or evacuated, or potentially relief workers that are deployed to help your community recover.
If a homeowner wanted to do this, say, at the last minute, or is there anything that they should keep in mind while they're putting their home as part of the Open Homes program?
They can certainly do this last minute. It's just always a lot better to go ahead and have it all taken care of. It'll just take you a few minutes to do the account creation and make sure that you're vetted and verified. Otherwise, it's still pretty simple in the process, and we will have a live active link when there is an activation in your community. So you'll be able to find that on social media. However, if you're a host, it's much easier because we can you get an automatic email that alerts you that we are activated and asks you if you want to open your home for free.
Some good information there. All right, Kelly Benz, the head of Global Disaster Relief and Recovery at Airbnb. Thank you so much for your time with us today on Tampa Bay's Morning Blend.
Thank you for having me.